just won a championship and they're looking to go back to back.
Sorry.
Yeah, shocking news.
Yeah, I know.
But we're gonna go over the three biggest threats. Some teams have messed with their rosters, of course. Teams want to get over the hump, and so they make moves during the offseason to try to improve their roster. Some riskier than others, but my first threat's the Nuggets. They took us to 7 games. They got deeper. I feel like that one's pretty self-explanatory. Nikola Jokic is one of the best players on the planet. I think this team's a potential threat. I don't see them as a threat at the moment, but if they do stay healthy, I think they could be a threat, and that's the Dallas Mavericks. Their starting lineup, if they stay healthy, will be Kyrie, Klay Thompson, Cooper Flagg, who's kind of an unknown. He did show some good flashes during the summer league. And then Anthony Davis, who has won a championship before with the Lakers, and Derek Lively, or I guess it could be Daniel Gafford. And then they'll also have PJ Washington and D'Angelo Russell off the bench if they stay healthy. I feel like they're just, when it comes down to the playoffs and rotations get crunched down to 8-9 guys, that could be a really solid rotation for them, and they could be a team to kind of be worried about. I think the Thunder would do their thing against them. And then if we were to make the finals again, which I'm a little biased, I obviously think we will, I think we could run into the Knicks. I think this might be the Knicks year. I think this might be the Knicks year in the East. Tibbs didn't like to play bench guys. Mike Brown has championship experience as an assistant. I don't know how it would be as a head coach with a team that could potentially make the finals in the East. But they added Jordan Clarkson, added Yabusele from the Sixers. I think they'll dig into their bench more, and they might have a chance in the East. I don't think they'd give the Thunder problems, but I mean, I also saw the Pacers take us to 7 games, so it is what it is.
I like that. I didn't even think about going Eastern Conference, but that's a good pull right there. They're probably favorites to win the East as of right now. So
they're my personal favorite. I would take them in a series over the Cavs.
Yeah, I would too. I guess I'll just bounce off that. Yeah, I actually agree with all three of those. But just Western Conference wise, I mean, you mentioned, I think Dallas is going to be a matchup problem for OKC. Guards wise, we kill everybody in the league guards wise. But when they get into 3, 4, and 5 with Flagg, AD, and then one of Gafford, Lively, they're huge. And Flagg super athletic. And can handle the rock and can shoot it. And then obviously AD is a monster healthy. And Gafford is just a huge guy, blocks shots and, catches alley-oops. So, I mean, they're going to be dangerous if Flagg lives up to the hype, even in his first season.
They can't keep doing the lottery behind closed doors. I think
it's absolutely ridiculous that he's there, but he's there. But they'll screw it up somehow. And then Denver, obviously, Jokic, they add Cam Johnson over MPJ, which I think is fantastic for them. I think it's a better shooter, creates more offense than MPJ off the dribble, can actually assist and get to the rim as well, and better defense too. So he just, in my opinion, much better player than MPJ. And then I mean, a lot of people saying Houston. I'll give it to Houston as of now. I mean, I like the add of Dorian Finney-Smith and obviously Kevin Durant. But I still think OKC takes them out. The only thing with Houston is, like, Thompson could guard Shea. Nobody could guard Shea, but Thompson is like one of the better defenders in the league, specifically for Shea. But then when you move over to like J-Dub, no one's guarding him. But I'll give it to Houston because I like your pull of the Knicks, but against OKC, they get wiped out fast.
I just personally don't think there's really 3 legit threats.
Yeah, I think for me, if it's anyone, it's like it's Houston just because of just because everyone thinks it is. But I don't.
Fair enough.
I guess I'll go.
Yeah, you go. No, you go, Jack. I'm good. You go.
Okay. Well, I got Nuggets, obviously. took us to 7, and they got way better, as you guys said. Dallas, they're big. And then those are the only teams I see as threats for us to win another championship. But the third biggest threat for us to win a championship is our 3-point shooting. If it doesn't,
yeah.
you like that? You like that?
Behind the box.
You like that?
Yeah, it just depends if it really takes that leap, because we haven't added anything to address it. But if we improve, then we don't really need to. So it just depends on our development. But this team with consistent 3-point shooting is insane, which we didn't have last year, and we won. So yeah, those are my 3 biggest threats.
Jack's playing chess.
That's big time.
Well played. Well played.
Yeah.
I'm going to sound like a broken record just to get out of the way, because I also had Nuggets, Mavericks, Rockets, same ones. The reasons, Nuggets, not a whole lot to say other than they have the second best player in the world behind Shea, of course. But they're an incredible team. I mean, they always are. They're tough. I think people kind of turned them into underdogs at the start of this last season, where they were like thinking that they just weren't going to be a good team, which is just laughable. But the big thing that I wanted to point out was what Joe said as well. Switching out MPJ for Cam is huge. I am a big trash talker on MPJ. I mean, you give him the ball and it's going up, whether you like it or not. And I hate that about him. That's like the worst kind of player. If I was a Nuggets fan, I would have been praising the Lord when they shipped him out. So huge addition there. And then Jonas at the backup, that's big. They almost lost him overseas, but yeah, Nuggets are dangerous for sure. Mavericks, same thing you guys said. If they're healthy, this team is so scary. I mean, Cooper could be half of as good as what people think, and they'd still be a really good team because of everyone else around him. The depth is kind of insane. I mean, they just have a lot of things that I don't like to see. So definitely worried if they stay healthy. And then the Rockets are, again, same thing Joe said. They're kind of just there because I needed a third team, and like everyone says we should worry about the Rockets. I'm not really worried about the Rockets, but that's just how confident I am in our team. So I guess I'll slip them into the third spot. But yeah, mostly just Denver and the Mavs for me.
I'll go next. I'll say we've already said everything we need to say about Denver. About the Mavs, PJ Washington's still over there. Had to mention his name.
Okay.
And then the third team, I've been reeling towards 2 teams. Maybe not like initial threats this year, but future threats is one team I would say is either the Spurs or the Suns. And I know everyone's probably like, yeah, Gabe's making the face about the Suns, but I actually like the move of moving away from KD. They're under the first apron. They can still add like a CP3 this season. They have a bunch of young pieces that they added, and they took the leading scorer off of the Rockets, added him on next to Devin Booker, drafted a bunch of young bigs around Devin, which is his weakness. So I really like that about their roster. Like, I think they're going to win a lot more games than people are thinking. Devin Booker with a real point guard, or him being the point guard, can work out for them. Like, I still believe in Devin Booker, in my opinion. Maybe just not around a roster composition of just straight offensive pieces. And then the Spurs, I feel like if they figure it out, like between all their lottery picks and stuff, like they just got a crazy roster. Like that can develop very quickly. Like they can be us 3 years from now, where they're going and becoming a first seed in back-to-back seasons and going to a finals run. Right. So those are my, I guess, 2 honorable mentions. I'm not really afraid of the Rockets. They're one KD injury away from, not even making the playoffs. And then every other team doesn't really scare me. So that's where I'm at.
I was ready to blow up when you said Phoenix. But then you mentioned that they'll win more games than people expect. So I quickly looked it up. The line's at 31.5. So yeah, I agree with that. But they're not doing anything. Let's be real.
I think if they're in a playoff setting with Devin Booker as their lead guy, like they're still dangerous. That's just my opinion. Like when he doesn't have to share the offensive load with other people, like it's really hard to stop him just by himself.
I'll be the one to go ahead and say it. I don't think they make the playoffs.
That's fine. I disagree. I just don't see.
Alright. We
why
can
they-
talk about it later.
Yeah.
I do like your mention of the Spurs, though. I was thinking about the Spurs a little bit. I don't think that it's exactly like you said. It won't be this year, but they are building something super, super good in San Antonio. And I'm pretty concerned about it for us in the future, because if that, let's say in a few years when we do have to start dealing with that second apron and whatnot, and we take a year where we need to switch some things up, that could be the year where San Antonio kind of goes over the top to try to take the number one spot from us. So San Antonio's building something good. Dylan Harper's, I'm really high on him. They're doing good over there. So I agree with San Antonio. That's a good one to at least mention for sure. But yeah, Phoenix, I don't know. I don't know. I get what you're saying. My thing with Phoenix is one game Jalen Green might drop 8 and the next game might drop 20. So if he can be consistent, maybe they'll be better, but there's still some things I think he's got to fix. So I'm a bit worried about him still. So I don't know. We'll see. I like him. So.
I'll say he'll be better in the Phoenix system with the
Mhm.
speed, also the attention on Devin Booker. So I think he'll just play a lot better in that system. With Şengün and him, they clearly didn't vibe, because when Şengün was out, he was very much consistent. So I'm going to rely on him around him, like the guard, when there's just two guard play, like that's when both of them thrive. And so I think they'll thrive.
Yeah, I like it.